Hi, and welcome to ITS Now episode 15. This week I thought I would focus on the neuromuscular training concept. You hear a lot about that, especially with non-contact ACL tears or prevention programs, saying that neuromuscular training needs to be incorporated. And a lot of people have their own ideas and their own thoughts on how to do it, and they all have their own concepts. So I wanted to share with you what I do with the athletes and what I seem to think or what I have seen that works with the athletes so that maybe you can apply it as well. Neuromuscular training basically means what the words are. Neuro meaning nervous and muscular meaning muscular system. So the athlete is challenging their nervous system as they go through a certain movement exercise while strengthening into that movement exercise. I do this with every athlete that walks into the ITS gym. I think that it's a critical part of the programming that has to be applied, especially because I deal with growing athletes. So their body is constantly going through changes, so we have to make sure that they're able to tolerate everything. I also do it with all post-ACL rehab athletes. They have to do it. It's critical for them to do that because they're already at a 10% risk. I think it's 10% risk to tear their other ACL. So we want to avoid that at all costs. I pride myself on training both the right and the left leg when the athletes come see me for post-ACL rehab. We don't just focus on one leg. So neuromuscular training. Let's give an example. You're going to see a bunch of examples later in this video of exercises that I generally apply in the gym setting here at Innovative Training Solutions. One exercise that you see probably often on my Twitter or anything is the single leg squat on the BOSU. I love that exercise. It's basically a split squat. So your right leg's on a BOSU and your left leg's on a bench. And then the athlete has to perform a single leg squat while balancing. In the beginning stages, I'll let them hold on because, again, it's a fear factor. And again, it's post-ACL rehab, so they're just learning to trust their knee. But I like that exercise because it forces the ankle to stabilize, the knee and the hip to stabilize, and it also strengthens the knee and the hip as well through that range of motion. And it's critical to have those type of things. So I do that exercise, and we do it bilaterally, meaning right and left leg. And then there's other exercises that I incorporate into their workout as well. Sometimes we flip the BOSU, and they stand on top of the blue part, the spongy part, and they do reverse lunges off of it, or they'll do forward lunges onto it, or they'll do single leg stands. There's so many different things you can do. But check out the videos later in this episode, and you'll see about 5 or 6 exercises that I do. Not all with BOSU, but there's a good chunk. Okay, why neuromuscular training? Think about this from an athletic point of view. You're on the soccer field or you're on the football field. The ground could be uneven if it's regular grass, or it could be turf. You're having athletes come at you trying to get the ball, or their athletes are trying to tackle you. Your joints are experiencing numerous forces at all times, from the running ground forces to the angles that you're cutting at, to athletes bumping into you or trying to tackle you. Your body has to be prepared for it. So to prepare for it the best, this is why you apply the neuromuscular training. Of course, you have to still apply a proper training program where the athletes are strong enough to be able to assume those forces and strong enough to be able to tolerate them. But you also have to be able to stabilize the joint and protect it at the same time. So neuromuscular training is critical for all athletes. There is no one set of athletes that doesn't need to go through it. Ground-based athletes versus water-based athletes, all athletes need it. I like to do a lot of shoulder neuromuscular training for swimmers. Especially because some of those motions are so unnatural for the shoulder joint that you just have to prepare the shoulder joint for it as much as possible. I do a lot of push-ups with a med ball and a lot of exercise ball work. Also, core. The core can be also trained for neuromuscular activities as well. I did apply some of those exercises in videos that you're going to later see in this YouTube episode, but I'm excited for some feedback. I want to hear and see what you guys think about this, and I want to see other exercises. Let me know what exercises you love to give to your athletes, or what exercises you love to use to prepare your body for the forces that you assume during your play as an athlete. This is it for episode 15 this week. Hope you have a great week, and I'll see you next week. Exercise 1, med ball push-ups. In this exercise, one hand's on the ball and one hand's off the ball. Push-up position, Perfect position means body is straight, back is straight, arms are bent to 90 or as close to 90 as possible. Neck is in line with the body the entire time. This exercise forces the shoulders to stabilize and strengthen at the same time. Great for volleyball, softball, or any overhead athlete. Exercise 2, single leg balance on the ground versus stability ball. Here I have the athletes first start on the ground, single leg balance with the med ball. I have them either draw crosses in the air or ABCs, and this forces their center of gravity to be constantly changing, which forces their joints and their lower extremity to constantly be adapting. Which kind of overplays into sports where their lower body always has to adapt to changing environments. And then once they get good at that, I progress them to single leg balance on a stability ball, doing the same exercise but forcing their joints to adjust even more to an unstable surface. Exercise 3, planks on the stability ball. This is a great exercise, forces the core to kick in and stabilize while strengthening at the same time. I also add in circles or ABC. Circles can go counterclockwise or clockwise, or they have to draw the entire alphabet. Exercise 4, single leg hamstring curls on the exercise ball. Here the athlete starts with both feet on the ball, bridge their hips up, raise one leg up in the air while rolling the other ball back and forth, performing a hamstring curl. When they complete the bridge, make sure not to go to the shoulder blades because otherwise that's cheating and the hamstrings don't get as complete of a workout. I like to just bridge their hips up and allow their shoulder blades to stay on the ground. Then repeat on the other side. Exercise 5, this is walk-off planks with hip extension. I like to add in different elements once the athlete accomplishes this. So start on your stomach, walk yourselves off into push-up position where your knees and ankles are on the ball, body as straight as a board. Slowly raise your right leg up straight and down, keeping that leg straight as possible. Then raise your left leg up. And then if it gets too easy, have the athlete perform a push-up and then eventually add in a pike. This is a great core workout, a stability workout, hip extension workout. I love to do this for ACL prevention. Exercise 6, single leg squat on the Bosu ball or any kind of disc or uneven surface. This exercise is great for developing quad, hamstring, and glute strength while forcing the joints, the hip, knee, and ankle to stabilize and protect the joint. I do this often with ACL, post-ACL rehabs and ACL prevention, especially with soccer and basketball players.